Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with another batch of new comic book reviews. Yeah, usually the thumbnail has more covers than this. I do have a Marvel, a DC, and an independent comic book as well as an extra. And you know what? This time it's not a party, so let's just do this. You see, I'm a huge Legion of Superheroes fan ever since I was a little kid. If you watch that video I've got, the origin of Englentine, it even talks about one of my first comics was a big old treasury size. They called them DC First. It was a treasury size Legion of Superheroes. The only iteration of the Legion of Superheroes I have not bought and collected is the Brian Michael Bendis version, because what he was writing was not the Legion of Superheroes. So, I mean, we've had all sorts of iterations of them, and every character was at least the character. This is completely rewritten. I mean, this is not the Legion of Superheroes. And then you add on Riley Rosmo art. I mean, just look at this. This is freaking outrageously bad. This is the kind of bad that makes you gotta wonder what's going on here. I mean, how does this guy keep failing upwards? But I mean, he's not failing. He's got a successful career as a comic book artist. There's somebody out there who's a Riley Rosmo fan who's like, oh my gosh, I gotta get the new book from Riley Rosmo. And that would be one thing. If it was the art and it was a great story, I would be like, oh, okay, well, you know, I mean, I've seen it before. Bad art over a great story, sure, I can handle that. This isn't. So everybody, by the way, everybody is looking for Element Lab. And you know why? Because every page introduces a member of the Legion of Superheroes, by the way, who are incredibly unrecognizable. But every page introduces a new Legion team member, and they're like, hey, where's Element Lad? Even like Chameleon Boy's on trial, and they're still like, hey, where's Element Lad, Chameleon Boy? And he's like, hey, you should know, right? Rock, you're part of it. So yeah, there's some sort of split in the Legion that nobody likes each other. Everybody's a whiny. I mean, it really is just filled with whiny people in this. This is one of the worst things I've read. I could have gone without the knowledge that this is where Bendis has taken one of my favorite teams of all time. I'm sad. I am sad for reading this. It's so bad. It is so freaking bad. The only pleasure I have right now is in knowing that even before all of this started, Legion of Superheroes was canceled and then reboot within like 50 issues anyway. So there's another one coming, guys. Just skip this one because this one is god awful. Oh, evil tyrant Hulk Maestro War and Pack, number 1. So anywho, yeah, this one's saving the day. Peter David, Javier Pina, thank you very much. I gotta say that it's basically this whole time, the last Maestro series, this series is talking about how the Hulk becomes Maestro and then how he takes over the world. In this case, every time he finds out about some sort of outpost of people who are not falling in line, who are not realizing that, yes, Maestro is the one who's in charge from now until eternity, you must follow him. He goes out and he conquers, and they either fall in line or he kills them. He even tells these children, I'm going to take you back and you're going to be taken care of and you're going to be raised. And they're like, screw you, dude, you killed our parents. We're going to fight you. And he sets his war dogs on them and kills all the children. So this is not the Incredible Hulk. This is Maestro at this point. And that's the whole point. I don't think I've gotten comments that makes in my other video makes me think that maybe not everybody knows who Maestro is and so forth and so on, but that's who it is. I've got to tell you, Peter David writes a good novel. I mean, or whatever you want to, if you want to say it's graphic novel, whatever. Point being is he writes characters well. He makes sure that everybody is still everybody, even though it is in the future. You know, like Michael Bendis doesn't. Not that I'm okay. We're talking about Maestro, not the Legion. We have Machine Man here, and of course he calls himself Aaron. That's his name. Good name. And he hears that the Hulk's going to come in, and he sets about a plan that will save all of his people. I like this right here. He invites, it's the Maestro's, basically his convoy or whatever you want to call it. He goes to tell Machine Man and all of his people that the Maestro's coming to take them all over, and they're either going to follow him or they're going to die. And he makes him, like, he's got this name like Grand Wizard or something like that, or some weird thing. And he actually goes, okay, what's your real name? He's like, Ralph. I love that. I love that bit. But it's good action. It's got some good action scenes. It's got a lot of really good dialogue, a lot of good character moments, and a pretty good ending that made me go, okay, bring on issue number 2. I wanted to read the Courier from the beginning. I just never did. It's one of those things. I actually owned the book, the first Courier, a while back, but I actually never read it. It's just one of those things, and I never went back to it. So anyway, written by Ralph Tedesco, and I gotta tell you, I enjoy this. This makes me want to find out what's going on. I want to read the first books. All the while, I don't need to. I didn't need to get it. Okay, there's bad guys out in the wild. They're all walled off. They're in different cities along the way that it's dangerous to travel from one to the other. Apparently, there's been some sort of apocalypse of sorts that has kind of made all the people more tribalized and willing to kill for supplies, which in some areas seem to be in short supply, and some areas seem to be abundant. And, I got all this from this one issue. Actually, I got all of this from just the first few pages. I mean, that's good world building there, guys. That is setting you up. And from there, boom, let's go. These kids find some trucks on the highway. We just saw that. And they get chased down by these things called the primals. And when they get back to the Courier here, that's the young lady, and they're home, they tell them about it, and they're, okay, we better go look at it. She sends her drone, which apparently has the power of speech when no other drone has. So there's a story there I don't know. That is the one thing they didn't explain. And they're like, okay, well, there's enough stuff there that we should risk it. She's going to go set up a distraction so the team can get all the supplies, and that's basically that's the main plot. There's more story to it, and it's not bogged down with story. What is it? The old saying, there's no story to get in the way of the plot. In this case, there's just enough story that, yeah, it doesn't get in the way of plot, but it absolutely is more than what I'm saying. Overall, though, I gotta tell you, I'm very happy with it. I want to check it out from here on in. I'm a Courier fan, and this book made me that way. So I picked up the Red Hood during the Joker War, and it was on my pull sheet. I never told them to stop it. I was just picking it up for the Joker War. I've read some here and there, of course. I read them digitally, but it was I hadn't really been picking Red Hood up since Red Hood and the Outlaws, or and goodness gracious. So this is a talking head book. There's a little bit in the beginning. We see this guy's trying to take over the criminal underworld. Of course, somebody always is. He's using Killer Croc as muscle, but for the most part, there's just a lot of talking heads in this one, and they're not talking about anything that's interesting. It really is like somebody said, hey, do you know what Red Hood it should be a slice of life book. So after the beginning opening or action scene, it really just does seem to go downhill from there. It's just not an interesting comic. I'm sorry, man, but if you're going to have two people talking for an entire comic book, you actually have to have there should be a rhythm to the dialogue. So it's almost like a song or a play that we're like bump a bump a bump a here, bump a bump a bump a there. In this case, it's just ramble, 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 ramble. Okay, I'm done. And I gotta tell you, it didn't take long for me to get really freaking bored with this whole thing. Even the criminals we're talking about. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could say more about Red Hood. There's one more issue after this one. And before the future state. This is old news, and I feel a little weird doing DC Comics because, of course, future state at this point. But you know what? I bought the damn books, so I'm going to review the damn books. Anyway, there you go. Red Hood number 51. It's just a boring mess. Alrighty, kids, those were the reviews, and of course, you know I like to recap, and I do put the book I like the least first, and all the way up to one I like best, and of course, the worst is the Legion of Superheroes. I was actually offended by this book. Riley Rossmo is a horrible artist, and Brian Michael Bendis can't write anymore. Next up, I gotta go with the Red Hood. Wasn't as bad as Legion of Superheroes, not much is, but unfortunately, it was something Red Hood should never be, and that's boring. Then, of course, we get to the good books, the Courier. I like this. It does a lot of world building. It introduces a character even though, very well, and it's an exciting story to boot. But the biggest fun I had was with Maestro. Watching the Hulk go evil has been a great time. Peter David's writing a damn good story, and I highly recommend it. But those are just my opinions. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, making sure that, you know, all the notifications are set on all and all that kind of stuff. If you don't mind helping out the channel, going over to Patreon or Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the till, helps keep the lights on, helps keep making videos for you. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers. Thank you very, very much for watching.